Hi, welcome to my channel Rohit Speaks, and in today's video I'm going to talk about is antibiotics. Now antibiotics is your medicine which you take against bacterial infections. But also there is another side to it. Hence I titled this video as is it a good thing or a bad thing? Is it a boon or a bane? So before we get into antibiotics and its problems and its solutions, um, when and where antibiotics is used. So basically human, they go through multiple bacterial infections throughout their life. And I'm saying bacteria. There are a lot of microorganisms, bacteria, virus, fungi. But bacteria is antibiotics especially is used to kill bacterial infections. Understand that the source of your infection is what? Bacteria, virus, or fungi. So antibiotics is majorly used to kill bacterial or to stop bacterial infections. Now, there are common like strep throat, where you have white patches inside your throat. Abscess is when you have all those either hair ingrown or some kind of issue and it leads to pus formation. So it's basically a bunch of bacteria residing there. Urinary tract infections. And here I have listed a bunch of different bacterial infections which can affect humans and the sources of different bacteria. I'm not talking here about bacteria, but what I'm trying to talk about is the antibiotics. So what is antibiotics? Antibiotics are a class of chemicals which are used to kill the bacteria's growth. They can either affect inside of the bacteria or it will affect the cell wall and doesn't allow them to grow properly or kills or stops protein synthesis of the bacteria. So basically they will not be able to grow and make more colonies or make more population. So here is an example of penicillin, which is the most famous antibiotic, which was discovered first by Alexander Fleming from a fungi. That's a whole different story, but this is a chemical which can stop the disrupts the cell wall synthesis. Basically, the covering of the bacteria, it will disrupt forming that, and your bacteria will never be able to survive. So as a result, there are several classes of antibiotics available. And I think there are more than hundreds of antibiotics available. But to know what affects what is the key and when to use which antibiotic is the key. So antibiotics in general is good to kill any bacterial infection. Okay. But there is a whole another side, which is the problem of antibiotic resistance. Okay. So this is a big problem which is the world is facing right now. It's a silent killer behind all the popular other diseases. This is something which will kill you, even though you're cured. But if you get infected by a bacteria which is resistant, where none of these chemicals will affect it, then you're just gonna you won't survive that bacterial infection and would slowly pass away. So what is antibiotic resistance? So in your gut, in your whole system, there are good bacteria, bad bacteria. So if there is a population of bacteria, there might be some. So for example, I'm using penicillin to kill some of my bacterial infection. But in my whole system, I'm taking that medicine. In my whole system, if there are hundreds of bacteria, there are some which the penicillin will not act. It's just the population of bacteria like that. So what will happen is I'll eat penicillin. So here I'm indicating the orange ones, which the penicillin won't kill, but the rest blue ones will be killed by penicillin. Now what happens is as I take antibiotics, I'm starting to kill the population which is affected by penicillin. And the few which are resistant, they will survive. And then they will grow. And then they will grow. And hence now, if I get the infection again, I won't be able to use penicillin because these bacteria are not going to die because they are now resistant. And they are also have this property of transferring that resistance to other bacteria as well. They will start turning them slowly into orange just for color's sake. So this is antibiotic resistance. So if you keep taking bunch of antibiotics, you're killing the good population, which will be affected by that at that moment. But also you're allowing the ones which are resistant to that medicine, they will survive and they keep growing. And how do they spread in your community? So for example, your cattle, they take a bunch of antibiotics as well. And then with their feces, they go into the soil, to the plants, and that's a circle and you consume those bacteria. Now these bacteria are antibiotic resistant. Same goes with the human. When they are admitted to a hospital, they also get several doses of antibiotics. While they are taking antibiotics to kill whatever infection they had, they are also allowing the bacteria which are resistant to that medicine to grow in your system. And that will spread along the hospital, along As he goes through the hospital, it will change hands, it will go into community, and it will start spreading. So this is the problem of antibiotic resistance. And it's not, don't think it is just related to one area or one field. It is a worldwide problem. As you can see, there are so many patients dying all across the world, which I have listed here. For example, in India, one child dies every 9 minutes because of an antibiotic resistant bacteria. Around in China, there are TB resurgence. So you get TB again because the medicine you were taking was able to kill that bacteria, which would cause tuberculosis. But now there is another small population which survived that attack because it was resistant to that medicine. And now they have grown in worldwide. And now your old TB medicine would not work. Now you have to remake something new. Hence, there is still tuberculosis available, or you think it will get cured, but it's not. You're allowing the resistant bacteria to grow. So when to take antibiotics? If possible, try to take it less or try to take a low dose to suppress. Because remember, you already have your immune system. You have your antibodies, your macrophages. They will kill your bacteria, but it will take some time. But if you want instant relief, and that's when you start taking antibiotics to kill the bacteria along with your immune system. So when to take antibiotics is a very key here. So for example, if you have strep throat, urinary tract infection, and abscess or the pus building, yes, that time you should take antibiotics and try to take it in short dose. Short dose means very acute, very limited time. Don't take it over a period of a month or something. Try to take it in a couple of days and see if it takes away your bacterial infection. If you want, you can increase the dosage, but get it done. Don't keep on taking it over a period of time. But for example, if you have ear infection, pneumonia, it is bacterial, but you should not be taking antibiotics because it's persistent. You have to use some other drugs rather than antibiotics, which would kill the bacteria and it will allow the other resistant bacteria to grow. Common cold, sore throat, chest cold, these are viral. These are not bacterial. So don't take antibiotics for all this affection. So try to remember what is affecting you and take based on that. And it's always recommended to take short dose, short time. Don't take it over a period of time. Next, WHO, or World Health Organization, have classified now these antibiotics because they have realized that the antibiotic resistant bacteria are growing. Okay, so they need to classify them so that these antibiotic resistant bacteria do not grow further. So there are 3 zones. Green zone are the antibiotics which you can take, and they have really low chances of allowing those drug resistant bacteria to grow. Then there are the yellow ones, which you should be able to take it only when you need it. They might allow those bacteria to grow, which will be resistant, but they are only affected to a smaller amount. But then there is this red list. They are they will also allow those resistant bacteria to grow. So these drugs have to be taken only if you really need to. Basically, it's your life and death. So who has classified those antibiotics? So try to take a list of these green antibiotics and use those as possible to kill any bacterial infections in you. So I'm talking about this because it's a silent, nobody knows, nobody reads about it, but this is something which will kill you. Even though you have a heart disease or whatever it is, and there you had small bacterial infection, you got cured of everything. But over a period of time, when you have allowed those bacteria to grow, which are resistant to the antibiotics you took. And when you get hospitalized again, now those antibiotics won't work. And that bacterial infection will keep growing and will slowly kill you. So try to minimize the use of antibiotics. Let those good bacteria survive in your system. And even if you have to take antibiotics, keep it in a short dose. So with that, I would like to close this video. And if you have any questions, please put down in the comment section. And I'll try to address it either through a video or I'll write comments or provide you links for more literature. As always, thank you for stopping by and listening to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.